Hi, it's Stephanie. I am going to work through a problem. I always forget once I start recording. 27 out of section 3.3 in our college algebra textbook. So let me get to my screen. Okay, so the directions for exercises 25 to 44 say to use synthetic division to divide. So I love synthetic division. It's a lot of fun. It's easy. It's a lot easier than long division. All you need to do is multiply and divide. You don't even need to divide. You just need to multiply and add. And as long as you know your multiplication table, it's really fast. The only downside is you can only do it if you're dividing by something that is a linear term. So you see on 25, 26, and 27, we're dividing by x minus 4, x plus 3, x minus 3. You can only divide if it's a linear term, and the coefficient in front of the x needs to be 1. If you're trying to divide by something that has a different coefficient, there's more work to do. Sometimes it's just a lot easier than due to long division than to kind of figure out what you'd have to do to make it work. So if you see something that's x plus or minus a number, you can use synthetic division. So I set up synthetic division a little different from our textbook. The textbook sets it up sort of like how they would with long division. I set it up more like a table because that way if I'm using synthetic division to try to find zeros, I don't have to rewrite the thing every time. I can just keep using my table. So it's up to you how you write it. So I'm going to just show you the way that I do it. So we're looking at 27. So all you need to do is write down the coefficients. And if you have any missing terms, you do 0. But we have an x cubed, so we should have 4 terms. There are 4 terms in our polynomial, so we're good. So we've got 7, -1, and 26. So like I said, I set this up as a table. And then we have x minus 3. So you take the opposite sign there. So if I'm going to do that synthetic division, I'm going to use a positive 3. If it says minus, use a positive. And then that number, the first number, always drops down. So 6, I'm going to have 6. So now we just multiply, add. So I start by 3 times 6, which is 18. And if you're only going to do this once, you can just write it right above your other numbers. So and then you add 18 plus 7, so that is 25. Now 3 times 25. That is, let's see, 75. Now 75 minus 1 is 74. Now unfortunately this is one where I'm actually going to have to, I cannot necessarily multiply that in my head. I could, I just probably messed it up. So let's see, 3 times 4 is 12. 21, 22, so that's 222. Now 222 plus 26, 248. So if you don't get 0 there, that means you have a remainder. Now we started with an x cubed term, and when you divide, you always remove, when you're dividing with synthetic division, you're always removing a power, basically. So this is going to be an x squared plus an x plus a constant, and then plus a remainder. So you see I have x squared plus 25x plus 74 plus 248 over x minus 3. That is quite the remainder there. But if you're familiar with long division, you can see that it's a lot more compact. And it's actually a lot quicker because you don't have to worry about your, distributing and getting your powers right or anything like that. You're just looking at the coefficients, just multiply and add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So it's really cool, and it can be used in so many different things. So what that tells us, if we have a remainder, it tells us that x minus 3 is not a factor. Because if it's a factor, that means you can divide it evenly. So since it didn't divide evenly, x minus 3 is not a factor. And fun fact, if say I had a function that was this 6x cubed plus 7x squared minus x plus 26, that would tell me that f of 3 is equal to 248. So if you plugged 3 into your equation, you would get 248 out. So synthetic division can be used just to divide. It can be used to find factors or to factor something, and you can use it as figuring out the function value of a polynomial. It's very versatile. So it's a really, really neat thing. So that's it. I hope you found this helpful. Hope it makes some sense. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on my video, and I will talk to you guys later. So yeah, bye.